What's up, guys? No, you're not being punked. I'm here, I promise. I hope everybody is doing well today. Welcome. We are going to watch some court. I apologize for earlier. I don't really know. Thought it was Sundays. There's a whole mix-up. Regardless. Also, just before I was coming on, I opened up a bottle of sparkling water that sprayed everywhere. So I had to do a very quick dry up of like critical items. There's still a lot of water everywhere. None of it in my mouth, which is where I wanted it to begin with. That's what she said. I hope everybody's having a good day. This is incredible art behind me. This is actually from another YouTube channel that I watch, Good Mythical Morning. That's Rhett and Link and their dogs. And yes, it's a very large piece. That I love very much. I got for being in their mythical society, which is their like secret member club. I have a lot of their cool items. This is actually my house, my actual place. So the stuff, yeah, is mine. We are reassessing and moving around and doing a bunch of different things over at my place. So I don't worry though. I got lots of kitchens, but drugs went out of business, did it? Um, I love Rhett and Link as well. I have the Book of Mythicality. Where is it? What's my Book of Mythicality? I don't know. I have a Book of Mythicality. I have all of their things, for the most part. And they're doing Good Mythical Evening coming up in August. I've been to Good Mythical Evening the previous two times. I think I've worn the shirt that I got for that before. But yes, I love Rhett and Link. I love mythicality. I'm a mythical beast. That's just the way it is. What was I gonna say? I'm distracted in here. This is not where I would normally be filming, and so there's a lot of things in here that are distracting to me that I'll probably end up wanting to show you guys because it's my stuff and it's cool and I like to show people. So we'll get to that. What we're gonna watch today is actually I have no clue yet, but I think you'll understand why I picked it when I show you what the thumbnail is. Um, sometimes things just stand out, and maybe not. Maybe not. Courtney, you've never seen Good Mythical Morning? Oh, that hurts me a little bit. But it doesn't really. Honestly, to me, sometimes I feel stupid. Like my ex-husband will complain a lot about my obsession with GMM, and like you guys have never heard of it. Um, I don't know. I mean, to me, they're like internet OG gods. They have 20 million subs or something like that. And I don't watch the show anymore. I'm just going to be totally frank with you. I don't watch the Daily Show anymore. I'm busy doing other things. But for the last 10 years or so, when I need to have, um, yeah, like their original stuff, small town stuff, Prissy, like those commercials, that reminds me so much of Credence and Mikey. Like that vibe of friends, small town. Um, yeah, I can have a guest on. I'd love to have guests on. I just got to figure that out. But anyway, so the reason I love them is because I've been watching them for a very long time, since very very long ago. And like they wrote a book which I bought. I try and support my YouTubers I watch. If a YouTuber I watch writes a book, I pretty much am going to buy it. Especially if it's like a fictional book that they wrote. Not a cookbook. No, that doesn't count. If you're a fucking, and I'm a kitchen YouTuber, I guess, but still, no, that doesn't count. I don't expect anybody to buy a kitchen person's cookbook unless they want it. But anyways, okay. So because hold on. Yeah, see, I'm just gonna get distracted in here all the time. We're gonna start watching the court. That's what we'll do. So Sheena, I haven't bought your Kindle book yet. Is it linked? No, it's not. It's not rude. But what I mean, well, here, before I just last thing. It's 99 cents. First of all, we need to talk a little bit later about Amazon affiliate links, because there are people that actually make money off of writing novels, but they don't ever charge for the novels. They give them away for free always. But the way they get paid is via Amazon affiliate links, because you get paid for like a week afterwards of what people buy on Amazon, and it doesn't cost them anything. And y'all Americans buy so much shit on Amazon. Some of you do your grocery shopping on there. Okay, so we have to go to Bothell. That's where we're going, to Bothell Municipal Court. Just look at I'll go back, look at the screenshot. And maybe you'll be able to figure out why I picked it. This puppy right here. I wonder what Pink Barbie Girl's got to tell us. It's not a Barbie girl, but I'm gonna set up my camera and the chat. I gotta fix it on this whatever it is, this setup, but I'm here and I'll be right back. Hi, George. Oh, so hi everybody. So let me see who we've got here. Oh, Trish, get on it. Start working on it. Also, thank you everyone for being around and coming by. I really do appreciate that as I am sorting out new life arrangements. Oh my God, it's Steven Tyler, you guys. Steven Tyler is back for another appearance in Awful Court.
Good morning, everyone. We're here for the Bothell Municipal Court 9:30 calendar for Thursday, the 27th of July. I'm Judge Mara Rosano, and this calendar is being conducted on Zoom. It is also being live streamed to YouTube. Anyone watching on YouTube who wishes to participate in a particular case needs to go to the Bothell Municipal Court website, click on the link to Video Court, and then click on the link to enter the virtual courtroom. Once there, let the administrator know which case it is you wish to be heard on, and that information will be conveyed to me. The official record of these proceedings will be made and maintained by the Bothell Municipal Court. Anyone making a recording without having obtained prior approval of the court may be subject to legal action, including but not limited to contempt proceedings. With that, I believe we are ready to proceed this morning. Good morning, Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. We can first address Mr. Sanchez Cardenas. We do have Ms. Levison here, although I would note she is on standby, but still allow her to put her credentials on the record.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nancy Levison, Washington State and federally certified court interpreter in Spanish, permanently sworn with the AOC.
Thank you.
This is cause number 36900. This is on for pretrial. Again, with Ms. Levinson on standby, I did go over a statement of defendant on plea of guilty with Mr. Sanchez Cardenas. We have submitted that to the court. He has indicated he has no additional questions at this time. And so I do believe, based on our conversation, that he's making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary decision, and we are prepared to move forward with the plea.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Sanchez Cardenas.
Good morning.
I have a document before me entitled A Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty with your name and cause number on it. It also looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to electronically sign this document on your behalf. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to read or have read to you this entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
Yes.
Was the interpreter available to you if you had any questions about the document as well?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a chance to go over this document in its entirety with Ms. Pimentel?
Yes.
Was she able to answer any questions that you had about it?
Yes.
And just again, for the record, was the interpreter available to you while you were going over it with Ms. Pimentel in case there were any confusion about any terms?
Yes.
All right. Now you and I get to go through this together, starting on page 1, paragraph 1. Is Primitivo Sanchez Cardenas your true name?
Yes.
Are you 35 years old?
Yes.
Paragraph 3 indicates that the highest level of education you've completed was the 6th grade and that you read and write in both English and Spanish. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Paragraph 4 indicates the crimes that you are charged with that you intend to plead guilty to today are 1 count of theft in the 3rd degree and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree. The elements of those crimes were set forth in the charging documents that you received. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure that they accurately describe the crimes you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you, and those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You also have the right to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you. You have the right to the presumption of innocence that would require that a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you, and you have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights, and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
Yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6C, that it accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes.
But you understand, as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation. I could sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 364 days on count 1, plus 364 days on count 2, a $5,000 fine on count 1, plus a $5,000 fine on count 2, and 2 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Also understand that if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences.
Yes.
Did you go over all of these consequences with Ms. Pimentel?
Yes.
And Ms. Pimentel, did you discharge your duties pursuant to Padilla and Sandoval?
I did, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, sir, do you prefer to be called Mr. Sanchez or Mr.
Okay.
What's
Yeah,
your
that's fine.
What's
San-
your preference? Sanchez?
Sanchez.
Okay. I apologize. I should have asked that at the beginning. So, Mr. Sanchez, has anyone made any threats or promises to get you to plead guilty today?
No.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Yes.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense. Since it's typewritten, I'm going to assume it was prepared for you. It reads as follows. On April 18th of 2022, in the city of Bothell, Washington, I did wrongfully obtain various items from Home Depot with the intent to deprive Home Depot of the value of the items, and also did knowingly enter and remain unlawfully inside the Home Depot located in Bothell, Washington, after I had previously been trespassed from all Home Depot locations for a period of 3 years. Is that a true and accurate statement?
Yes. Yes.
Do you adopt that statement as your own?
Yes.
Then to the charge of count 1, theft in the 3rd degree, as charged here under this cause number, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 2, criminal trespass in the 1st degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty pleas will enter. I find they're knowingly, voluntarily made, and that there
I'd just like to point out, are we able to create a ranking system of all of the major department and like major stores in the States? Because I do believe Walmart is like a permanent ban. Whereas that sounds like Home Depot's like, you know what? In 3 years, we figure you'll probably need us again and we'll need you and we're willing to forgive. So they just do like a 3 year no trespass, which I think is pretty interesting. But I've definitely heard of like permanent like no goes. One time that was a really sad case actually. This one time it was also in Washington and it was a Safeway grocery store and the gentleman didn't understand. Like, well, he understood, but he was like, "But that's where I grocery shop." And they're like, "But you can't grocery shop there anymore." And he's like, "But that's the only place I can go." Like it was just not gonna work out.
There is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's pleas of guilty. Does the city have anything to add to its recommendation?
Your Honor, it's an agreed recommendation.
I know we have Home Depot
Ms.
here
Green,
too.
would you like to identify yourself for the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Tracy Greener for the City of Buffalo. It is an agreed recommendation, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Pimentel.
Your Honor, it is agreed. I would just ask the court to waive any non-mandatory fines and costs as if the court does follow that recommendation, even with good time, he will be serving probably an additional 7 days or so in custody. This is a combination of 2 prior bookings for the total of his current credit for time served. Obviously, he has already been trespassed from Home Depot, so he does understand now that is from all Home Depot locations for a period of 3 years.
No, I prefer that every single time, Cellulite Johans. I want a discount every time. Also, Home Depot here, I do want to say something, okay? First of all, as Canadians, we get a lot of American content, and we're usually, and you know me, I fucking live on the interwebs. I'm on the internet all the time. But things are different, right? So like I've been told that in Home Depot in the States, you can like go and in the parking lot, you can hire people to do like small jobs for you or whatnot. And also, like, it's sort of a congregating location. Um, that's never going to happen here. That's not. You're only going to find arguing couples in the parking lot of Home Depot who have been standing talking about tile colors for the last 3.5 hours. And when they finally decided on the tile color they wanted, it wasn't available, except at another Home Depot 2 towns away. And now they're just screaming at each other about that. But that's pretty much the extent of extra work going on in the Home Depot parking lot. We also have Rona. Do you guys have Rona? Rona is our, like, I think it's Canadian. I'm pretty sure it's Canadian. And and Lowe's. We have Lowe's. And then there's like a local hardware store called Castle. But yeah. Oh, you tested negative, Prissy? That's awesome. No, seriously, Rona is their name, and unfortunate. Same with Corona beer, man. They were just like quiet for 5 years, right? They're gonna have to be before their name just. Um. Yeah, and because we live on an island, shipping of like home supply, like home building goods is actually quite expensive. So it tends to make sense. Like you wouldn't buy it online from somewhere because it's shipping nightmare. So you tend to go to a bigger box store for that here. And then or we have like lumber yards. I'm trying to remember what that place is. Oh, Lumber World. Lumber World.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong person. That's why. Give me just a quick second here, sir.
I think my island is like the 7th largest island in the world. It's very, very large, but it's also very small in a way. It's hard to explain. We'll talk about it. Find out, Sashina, and then we'll see.
Mr. Sanchez, sorry, I was pulling up some information here. This is your opportunity to tell me anything that you would like me to take into consideration before I pass sentence. It's called your right of allocution. That's the fancy legal term for it.
Well, I'm just like I don't know what to say, but I'm just say thank you for just for another opportunity, and I'm doing this for my kid and for me too. You know, I'm trying to like when I get out, I'm trying to get a job and do better than just for my kid because I don't want my kid to see me like, you know.
They learn by example, right?
Yeah,
No
and
matter what you tell them, they do what you do. That's what
yeah,
they do.
I don't want my kid fucking doing my same thing that I'm doing and or follow me. No, I'm
And they do what you do. That's what
yeah,
they do.
I don't want my kid fucking doing my same thing that I'm doing and or follow me. No, I don't want that.
All right. What's the plan to make the change?
I'm trying to get a job.
Okay.
I'll be working in King County right now.
He said fucking, first of all. That was so cute. He stopped himself, but he totally did. I went back. He said it. Secondly, I would die if he was like, I have an interview with Home Depot on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm working in the kitchen right now, so I'll be working before and on the kitchen. I was working as a cook for 10 years, so that's what I'm gonna be looking for. As soon as I get out, I'm gonna probably get a job for cooking.
That's good. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
I think that would be, if you're a good cook, you're way better than I am. You understand those things that just,
Paper Mill is not always hiring, Loud Elvis. That is so not true. We have, well, at least I live in forestry province where we have a lot of forestry, but they've closed down a lot of mills lately. They used to be good jobs, but they closed a lot of the mills down lately.
I miss. So I envy you. Probably my husband envies you. All right. It's a good plan because you got to make a change. You're looking at, I mean, this will be your 5th conviction for theft related charges. And then you're looking at how many now? You got 3 pending in Issaquah and another one in, looks like Seattle Municipal Court. So, and 2 in Seattle Municipal Court. So you got to make something work here. I know Issaquah has a pretty good program for helping people integrate into the community. You might want to talk to your attorney down there about that. All right.
Yep.
We have one too, but I think we're past that here. You got an awful lot on your going on, but it's not. I mean,
Y'all, we have heard 110 cycles. This guy had some shit go down in 2002. First of all, if I was his lawyer, Your Honor, that is absolutely distant history. I thought anything prior to 10 years wasn't really applicable. Larry Beaver worked in a lumber yard and they had some issues with him in the wood. I'm just going to say that.
I mean, it looks like it's been over a number of years. Pretty much looks to me like it's almost entirely theft related, which, that's, I know it seems like it's a big, like they're big, like Home Depot, it's a big store. They won't feel it, but they just pass it on to the average person. They don't feel it at all. You're right.
Actually, I have to point something out here. If and I always forget this, but in reality, we make a joke, oh, crime's not working for him. Actually, it is. Crime's worked very well for him. He's only had 5 arrests in the past however many years, and he's obviously more prolific at thieving than what he's been caught for. That's the thing about criminals. The good ones don't get caught, or they don't get caught as often. And so there's this like double-edged sword. Judge Nagel down in Georgia looks at it like, if you do not come in contact with law enforcement, I think that's good. On the other hand, if you don't give the benefit of the doubt and you just say, and you assume that, oh yes, they've only done 5 bad things and we caught them every single time, well then sure, he needs to get a new job because he ain't very good at stealing. But I am going to tell you, that's probably not allegedly what I would say would be the truth.
But everybody else in society does, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to stop my lecture. I'm just going to follow the recommendation. I think it is appropriate. And I hope that you are able to take this opportunity to make some changes. How old is your child? You say it's your son?
It's 9 months.
Okay. So it's time to make a big change because
Yeah.
they grow so fast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they do.
And you want to be there when he takes his first steps. You want to be there when he says his first word. You don't want to be sitting wearing clothes that somebody else picked out for you. So let's make that.
William, I quickly, because I've just set up in this area for now. I just literally looked around and I was like, did I leave up a brothel sign in the view? It's the city of Bothell, which is in Washington, and I'm told it's quite a hoity part of Washington. But no, I see my brothel sign is over there.
That change. All right. I'm supportive. I'm a cheerleader with a hammer. 364 days in jail, 339 days suspended, giving you 25 days to serve, giving you credit for 9 days already served. On count 2, 364 days in jail, all 364 suspended. As to the fines, $5,000 fines on each. I'll suspend the entirety of the fines based on the fact that you are going to be incarcerated and the information provided by Ms. Pimentel. I am going to make a finding that at this point in time you are indigent and waive any non-mandatory cost, fees, and assessments. I do hope for you that you get that job, but I don't want to burden you with a whole bunch of expenses right when you're getting back into it. The conditions of your 24 months of probation are going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to start off with the really easy stuff. Keep your address up to date with the court. Okay. If I think something has gone wrong, I'm going to send you a summons. And even though you may not love the idea of coming back to talk to me, it's going to be much better if you get that summons and you do what I'm going to tell you next, which is make it to all your future court hearings. Because if you don't, I'm going to issue a warrant and we're going to be talking like this again, right?
Okay.
So come in the clothing you want to wear. Conditions that'll get you back before me. No new criminal law violations for which there's probable cause, okay? Just be done. Make that change. No contact with Home Depot, okay? Pretty much that's kind of reiterating because that would be, since they trespassed you, a new criminal law violation. I'm just emphasizing it, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. Just make that change. Don't come back. And don't commit any crimes from this point forward. You've got all this stuff on your record. It's already happened. Deal with it however you deal with it from this point forward. Okay?
All
right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And I hope that you get out soon and get to hold that little boy and get to be a significant and fabulous role model for him. Okay?
Thank you.
Take care.
Also, stay away from the Home Depot. Hi, Credence and Mikey. I hope you're doing well today. This judge is so funny. I love her so much. She's already come out with like 3 good one-liners in this. What was I gonna say? Oh, that's it. Loud Elvis. You wrote here. You had a friend that got arrested one time. They got life in prison. He rang a tiny crack ring that sold 20 or 30 kilos of crack a week for just 8 years. I mean, God, government, like, talk about government overreach and just really not looking at the big picture. Duh. So, those types of criminals, I really think they should just leave alone. Just joking. There plushies and unicorns in here. I don't think there's plushies and unicorns. There's a lot of fun for weird stuff that I have, but not I don't think there are some plushies. Oh, I have Rhett and Link talking plushies actually. I'll grab those. My sex toy drawer doesn't fit in a drawer. It's in a closet at another house because that's where it is. And it's a full walk-in closet.
Project, or return to yourself, please.
Your Honor, that was the only matter for Ms. Levinson.
Gotcha.
Can be excused.
Seat there, please.
Oh, William, thank you for that joke. And also you literally just reminded me because I was like, the judge, she's great, but she literally just said, yeah, so today just be done with crime. Just be done. You're done. And it's like, why don't we get her into the rehab centers? If she's got this magic touch, you're done with drugs. Like, it doesn't work like that. Also, Steven Tyler up there in the corner being very, very quiet. Very quiet.
Ms. Levison, I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you very
Yes.
much for being here. And I appreciate you being available for standby.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next matter to address is Randall Beck, cause number 3A05700303. These are on for arraignment. There are three allegations. Count 1 is disorderly conduct. Count 2, theft in the 3rd degree, and count 3, which we don't see very often in Bothell, is specifically theft of a shopping cart. The theft in the 3rd degree, as well as the shopping cart theft, are
Come on. You're joking? Theft of a shopping cart? Every single homeless person in my town, and there are many of them, because it is the warmest part in Canada, and it's also expensive to get here because you have to take a ferry. So once you take a ferry and get here, the likelihood of you taking that ferry to leave again is just low. So we have a lot of homelessness here. And we do have the ones where the wheels lock. They know how to figure that out. You just carry it away and then you take that part off, and oh yeah. Taking away jobs for people like Bubbles who collect the shopping carts.
both gross misdemeanors. So we did go over the maximum penalties. The disorderly conduct, he does understand, is a simple misdemeanor. We did go over all the constitutional rights he has at this stage of the proceeding. He's indicating no additional questions, and so we are prepared to move forward with the arraignments.
Good morning, Mr. Beck.
Morning.
You're here for arraignment, so I need to confirm, is Randall John Beck your true name?
Yes.
Ms. Pimentel just told me that she went over quite a bit of information with you this morning, including your constitutional rights. It's my job to make sure that you understood all of that. Did you?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Pimentel.
We'll acknowledge receipts of the complaints, waive formal reading, and enter pleas of not guilty as to all counts.
Not guilty pleas will enter. Court has previously had an opportunity to review the police reports and did make findings of probable cause. What is the city's request with regard to release and conditions?
Your Honor, the city is requesting bail in the amount of $3,000 be maintained. Mr. Beck has over about 90 lifetime warrants, including an outstanding warrant at this time. The city is not confident that he would appear out of custody.
Also, he is appearing from a rave, Your Honor, and we just think that appearing from a rave is really not indicative of him being willing to follow the rules. You can see right now, they've obviously turned the lights on at the rave and it's time to party. What the fuck? What is with the fucking color? I don't get it. Now, and I'm looking for all the other little things. I'm a Barbie in a Barbie world. Life in pink doesn't stink.
Ms. Pimentel.
And Your Honor, there's no objection to standard conditions, obviously including no contact with Safeway. He is asking the court to release him on his own recognizance. Certainly no objection to getting that warrant taken care of. It looks like it's a very old case out of Island County. Mr. Beck indicates that his father is currently undergoing hospice care, which I think played a factor into this as well. And certainly if it would alleviate the court's concerns, there'd be no objection to an abstinence condition. If the court is willing to release him on his own recognizance. He would like to also be considered for court-appointed counsel. It sounds like he does some odd jobs here and there, but nothing that is consistent and or a substantive amount of income coming in.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
you've worked pretty hard to get a reputation of not making it to court, haven't you?
Well, I guess maybe I have, but I can show up for court. I can take care of that warrant and show up for court. I can do this. I can. My father in hospice right now kind of sent me off on a side spin there, and but I will show up for court.
Where are you residing? What area?
In Seattle.
The address we have for you is in Port.
Don't do it. Larry is in rehab. I'm not equipped for this. There's water spilled places, Judge. Stop it. Don't dox this poor pink man.
Port Angeles, but that's no longer accurate.
No, I was using using general delivery there. 77.
It's just that's the Compass Center.
Okay. Because Mr. Beck, I'm very concerned that if I release you, that you're not going to come back. And I'm trying to see here.
I would just like to also say that I do have family in Bothell, and that so I am connected with this area.
So what happened in What happened in 2018? Anything of particular note?
Judge, just say what happened.
I'm trying to figure out here. I'm looking at what's going on in your. Looked like in 2018, you stopped having referrals for a little while. And then in 2020, there was some more stuff. So did you go to prison or did you stop committing offenses?
I think a little both.
Okay. I see that you had some felony charges up in Snohomish County.
I think a little both. That would be fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that there'd been a significant change, but Mr. Beck, I know that you're telling, where's your dad in hospice?
But he's in what would be kind of North Seattle. He's like in a private home, where
William, once again, you made me check and see if something was in sight that shouldn't be in sight, but no, it's not. I see it.
and I will show up for court.
Mr. Beck, I suspect you've said that a lot of times before.
My father being in hospice right now is really kind of got me a little kind of threw me for a loop there, but I can focus and I can show up for court.
Ms. Pimentel, you've indicated an abstinence. I'm not sure that Mr. Beck is at a place in his life where abstinence is realistic. Can you give me?
Honestly, Judge, I think that abstinence is not an effective method of sex education because it's just not feasible to teach people to be abstinent rather than to tell them how to engage in safe sex behaviors. Now, I'm aware you're talking about not using drugs, but I actually think it's probably the same problem. They're not going to do it. It's like a cute little thing to say, but it's just not going to happen. He looks like the girl from Willy Wonka who chewed that gum. Viola, what was her name? Violet. Violet, you're turning violet.
Me information that would make me feel a little bit more comfortable about that.
I just met Mr. Beck this morning and so I have no additional information. He's not currently in.
Veruca Salt was the other girl, yes. The TV boy was his name Mikey? I think it was. But the purple girl was named Violet Beauregard. Violet Beauregard, and she was the gum chewer. And she always chewed gum, always, until the candy competition came around. And then she put the gum behind her ear.
In treatment, if that's what the court is asking.
I'll hear more from the city if you have anything that you'd like to say.
Your Honor, I don't have much else to add. It's just that I think that this report indicates that, it's not just the warrant history, but the behavior was, I think, fairly alarming. Mr. Beck, I believe, was, if I recall correctly, without rereading this, I think he was yelling at people in the public, and being very aggressive, and the behavior was not, I think, was alarming, and also poses a danger to the community, as well as his interaction with the officers in this matter.
Understood. So, Mr. Beck, at this point in time, I am going to set bail. I'm going to set bail in the amount of $500. I think that that's sufficient. If you do post bail, you will need to notify the court in person or in writing of any change of address. So we need to make sure we have a good mailing address, have no new criminal law violations for which there is probable cause, make an appointment with your attorney and make it to that appointment. They can't help you if you're not talking to them. Make it to your court dates. Have no contact with Safeway. Okay?
Is that all Safeways?
I think was he trespassed from Safeway, or do we know?
I didn't see that in the PC statement that I was provided as possible. We just don't have all the discovery quite yet.
So,
Mr. Beck,
from my order, it will be the Safeway in Bothell. If Safeway trespassed you, you can't go back to Safeway, any Safeway, because it would be a new criminal law violation. But for purposes of this, my order with regard to Safeway, because I don't know if they have trespassed you, I will say it is for Bothell only. I'm not telling you you can go to Safeway. Their trespass order would apply if there is one, okay?
Okay, and so, and how would I figure that? I would just go, maybe go to a Safeway, not the Bothell Safeway, but go to a Safeway and say, am I trust, and maybe talk to the manager at one, or how do I find out?
I think it would be safer for you to ask at the Bothell Police Department than to go to a Safeway. That would be my, but I would ask my
Okay,
maybe to find out, to help you find that out as well, okay?
maybe the Bothell Police might know. Okay,
They might know, they might not, so maybe ask your attorney as well, okay?
okay,
All right, but I would not go to Safeway to find out if you're trespassed there, okay?
okay. My bail is $500.
$500. I'm gonna set court dates for you. I'm gonna have you be back for pretrial on August 3rd. That's next week. That's gonna be the Thursday of next week at 9:30 in the morning. That's gonna be by Zoom like we're doing right now. If you don't have the capability to do Zoom and you do post that bail, you're gonna need to come to the court and we'll put you on a laptop or a tablet so that you can do the Zoom hearing, okay?
Okay, the court here,
Here in
right,
Bothell.
right here where I'm at.
Right, well, not exactly where you are. You'll be upstairs in the courtroom or in the courthouse.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
all right. But yes, Bothell Municipal Court at 9:30 next Thursday. Your trial will be scheduled for September trial term, but your next court date, August 3rd, a week from today, next Thursday, 9:30 in the morning on Zoom, okay? And you need to start establishing a reputation for showing up. So if you post that bail, you're going to be at the court or on Zoom early to say, look at me. All right. All right. Mr. Beck, we'll see you next Thursday. You take care.
all right, I'll see you next Thursday.
All right, sir. Wait, here's something. Next gentleman up. Grab a seat there, please.
The next matter to address off the 9/29 calendar is Mr. Hutchison. This is cause number 3A02760001. This is on for arraignment. It's an allegation of theft in the third degree, but it's back from March 1st of 2023. I did have the opportunity again to go over the maximum penalty with Mr. Hutchison. We also discussed the constitutional rights he has at this stage of the proceeding, indicating no additional questions. And so we are prepared to move forward with the arraignment.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hutchison.
Good morning.
Is Jacob S. Hutchison your true name?
Yes.
Ms. Pimentel just told me that she went over quite a bit of information with you this morning, including your constitutional rights. Did you understand all of them?
Yes.
Ms. Pimentel?
We'll acknowledge receipt of the complaint, waive formal reading, and enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Not guilty plea will enter. Court has previously had an opportunity to review the police reports and did make a finding of probable cause. What is the city's request with regard to release and conditions?
Your Honor, Mr. Hutchison has a very short warrant history. He also has short criminal history, but it appears that he has missed court on every case he does have pending right now. He currently has an outstanding warrant out of Mount Vernon as well as Whatcom County. So the city is asking to maintain bail in this matter.
All right, it looks like bail is set in the amount of $2,000. Ms. Pimentel?
Your Honor, there's no objection to standard conditions, including no contact with Home Depot. Sounds like Mr. Hutchison has been unfortunately homeless for a period of time. I think that's why he's been missing these hearings. Per the dockets, the notices have been coming back, it looks like, in each of the cases. So he was not aware, he has not been arraigned yet on that Mount Vernon case. He is aware of those warrants now. We did discuss, obviously, both the Whatcom County as well as the Mount Vernon case. So if the court is willing to give him an opportunity to be released, he will certainly take those and get them taken care of. And there's no objection to that being a condition of his release here.
It looks like Whatcom County has indicated that they are going to extradite him. At least that's what it says in the docket from Whatcom County. So most likely if I release him, he's going to get put on a chain to go up there. So. All right. Give me just a second. Mr. Hutchison. Yeah. All right.
You guys found my
It
yearbooks.
looks like you have missed one time in each case. I will give you the benefit of the doubt that it was because you didn't know about it, right?
Yes.
That means I will release you today. Is
Thank you.
based on what I saw in the docket, it is likely you're just going to get on a bus and go north up to Whatcom County to deal with that case. But I don't know for sure. They may change their mind and allow you to appear out of custody. But regardless, on my case, I'm releasing you on your personal recognizance on the following conditions. You need to notify the court in person or in writing of any change of address. Right? Because from now on, in this case, it's going to be partially your responsibility to make sure you know when court is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to make sure we have a good mailing address so you get your notices. You need to have no new criminal law violations for which there's probable cause. You need to make it to your court hearings. And you need to have no contact with, I believe it was Home Depot.
Yeah.
Probably you've been trespassed at Home Depot, so probably that goes with the no new criminal law violations, right? All right. I'm going to set this matter for pretrial on August 24th. That's a Thursday, just a few weeks from now. It's going to be at 2:30 in the afternoon, and it's going to be in person at the Bothell Municipal Court, okay? Your trial date will be in the October trial term, but your next court date, August 24th at 2:30 in the afternoon. All right. If something happens and Whatcom County decides to hold you, I have no idea what they're going to do. You need to make sure your attorney knows what's happening. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assign at this point, Ms. Pimentel, I believe you indicated that you felt he would qualify for court-appointed counsel based on some of the information that you provided.
He's not currently working, no.
Yeah. So I will make a finding at this time. Mr. Hutchison, there will be a document for you to complete that's an affidavit about your income, your assets, and your expenses. I would appreciate you doing so because without it, I don't really have a legal basis for granting you court-appointed counsel. And depending on what comes up in the future, I might have to reverse my decision and charge you attorney's fees, which I'm pretty sure you don't want to have happen. So get me that affidavit. But in the meantime, I am going to appoint Ms. Pimentel's office to represent you. You will get her contact information with your paperwork from the jail. Make sure if you are in custody up in Whatcom County, you let her know that right away so she knows how to proceed. Okay.
Okay.
With that, I look forward to seeing you in person on August 24th at the courthouse in Bothell. Okay.
I'll be here.
All right. You take care. Uh-huh.
I don't know what's going on in the court, William. I'm finding pictures of me. This is me. Look how cute I was. We can just thank my mother. There's nobody else that would do that haircut. That's a hairdresser didn't do that. We can just say that right away. So thank you. Thanks, Mom, for the very obvious bowl cut that you gave me and made me, and I had to wear this uniform. This is from a Montessori school that I went to. Yes. I don't think they are cute bangs. I think they are a little ugly, to be honest. Like, here, I'll show you cute bangs. You want to see cute bangs? Here's some cute bangs. That's my daughter. Those are cute bangs. That's cute hair. Right? Wrong. Right? Wrong. Right. Wrong.
Whoever check yourself, please. Mr. Burrow, come on up.
No, the family picture from before was William, my daughter's 15 now. And I'm not worried about showing pictures of her as a baby. Don't worry. But and the one before was me and my daughter and my ex-husband. Also, come fuck with her. Try it. You want to see what happens?
But have a seat, please.
Next matter to address is Mr. Barone. There's two cause numbers, 3800-36855 and 6858. We did submit, again, a statement of defendant on plea of guilty as to the cause number ending in 6855, which is one count of criminal trespass in the first degree, one count of obstructing a law enforcement officer. I did note that this will be by way of an Alford plea. Upon the court's acceptance of the plea, the city is moving to dismiss 3A0036858. This is going to be an agreed upon recommendation, Your Honor. We can certainly be heard at sentencing, but Mr. Barone and I did go over that plea form. It's in its entirety. He's indicating he has no additional questions, or hopefully I've answered those. And so we are prepared to proceed forward with the plea.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Barone. Or is it Barone? I can't remember now.
Barone.
Barone. Okay. Sorry, the Italian last name is mine, and I do speak Italian, so in Italy we would pronounce the last E.
Certainly, yeah, but usually Americans don't get it that way.
Yeah.
Humble brag about being able to speak Italian while in Italy a little bit there, Judge, but then he just came right back at you with certainly. It's funny.
That's okay. You get to pronounce your name the way you want to. So, Mr. Barone, I have a document before me entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty under your cause number 3A0036855. It has your name on it. It's indicated it's an Alford plea. On this document, it looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to electronically sign on your behalf. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to read or have read to you the entire document prior to deciding to enter into this plea?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go over it in its entirety with Ms. Pimentel?
Yes.
Was she able to answer any questions that you had about it?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the document?
No.
All right, we're going to go through this together. Starting on page 1, paragraph 1, is Lucas C. Barone your true name?
Yes.
Are you 29 years old?
Yes.
Is the highest level of education you've completed the 12th grade?
Yes.
Paragraph 4 indicates that the crimes that you are charged with, that you intend to plead guilty to today, are one count of criminal trespass in the first degree and one count of obstructing a law enforcement officer. The elements of those crimes were set forth in the charging documents that you received. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure that they accurately describe the crimes you intend to plead guilty to today?
Yeah, I believe I thoroughly went through those.
Okay. Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty. They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed, the right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself, the right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you.
And as we previously discussed, in America, you can have your name said any way you want. You've chosen Barone. Wouldn't it be funny if this was like a court where celebrities that wanted to be lawyers, but like were just celebrities, came to practice being lawyers? Like Steven Tyler, however, is like the person who signs up every week. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, you can come again. That's fine, dude. That's fine. Okay.
You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you, and those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. It requires that a charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you, and you have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial. Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
Hollywood
Yes.
sells.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Yes.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that is written in paragraph 6C accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
Yes.
But you understand as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation. I could sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 364 days on count 1, plus 364 days on count 2, $5,000 fine on count 1, plus a $5,000 fine on count 2, and 2 years of probation. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, these pleas could have immigration consequences.
Okay.
Did you go over all of these consequences with Ms. Pimentel?
I believe so.
And Ms. Pimentel, did you discharge your duties pursuant to Padilla?
The
That was a
subcommittee
fucking
hearing on
quick. Hey, shut up, dude. I'm not ready for you, and I don't even know who you are. That was a very quick transition there. Let's just transition away from that for a second. Fuck is this? Do you realize there is approximately 0 times that I watch the shows that YouTube starts for me when I'm live with you guys? Literally 0 times. But when I'm by myself, they're very good. They know what they want me to have. Yeah, there are unicorns. If you guys notice that is a card I purchased. It came with a one hitter on it, and it says, "Let's get and slay throughout the day." Why can't I see the camera? Because I didn't turn it on. God damn it, kids. Let's get high and slay throughout the day. See? So we are not quite done though in Bothell because there was another day when the same camera thing happened and I want to see it again. So give me one second.
All right, good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. This is the Monday, July 17th, 2013 Bothell Municipal Court calendar. I'll take whatever matters that are ready in whichever order they're ready in.
What the fuck is
Who
happening
do we have
here?
currently in the holding cell?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Moore, Aaron Moore. He has 3 files before the court today.
Okay. All 3 come on for pretrial today?
Yes, Your Honor. And for the record, Attorney Meredith Hutchison on behalf of Mr. Moore, he is present in custody, appearing via Zoom. These come on. Mr. Moore missed court a while back, so they come on to reset his pretrial matters.
Okay. Anything you want to present to the court of why he might have missed it and why we're here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on. The blur is killing me. Like, is that my... This is what happens when you're downstairs in the basement? It's above ground basement, but still. There we go. Okay, that's a bit better. This intern's name is Sarah Yell. You know, you could never yell if your last name was Yell. Just, it would never go down very well. Also, you guys, I have a game that we're going to play in a little bit. I found it, and I think you're going to like it.
I have represented Mr. Moore on these cases. I understand that they're getting old. I was appointed last August on these matters. Mr. Moore has been in good contact with me historically on these cases. He did miss court back in January, and when I spoke with him today, he did indicate to me that he was in Harborview at the time. He suffered a head injury. Obviously, given the timing of getting that information this morning, I simply wasn't able to verify it or get anything to present to the court today. Mr. Moore indicated that he could get me that information should he be.
Just so we're clear, I'm high all the time. Before, during, and after the lives. So it really doesn't have the same impact on me. I don't suggest everybody do that, but that's just the way I am.
Be released, and that would be our request today.
City's position.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, I'm Sarah Yell, the Rule 9 intern for the city. The city is requesting to maintain the $3,000 bail on the first two charges, and we're not requesting bail on the 22.000090 matter.
So I read it, and maybe I'm mistaken. You guys can clarify it. So there's three cause numbers on 33419. That's a $4,000 bail that Judge Rosano put on. Then the 37572, that's 3,000, and then the DWLS third, which is the 22, that's 200. So the city's asking that they don't care if he's released on the driving while license suspended third degree, but are asking that I maintain bail on the other two cause numbers.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I've reviewed his history. He has 4 active warrants out of Marysville. One of them is since 2019. That case hasn't been resolved. These warrants have been outstanding for the past 6 months. I am maintaining bail on all 3 matters that can be readdressed if there's proof that he was.
Oh, he's the judge. Jesus Christ. It's because he looks so much like a lawyer. Like, I'm sorry, but he does not have any judginess. This is Bothell again. We're back in Bothell. This is Judge Pro Tem Robert Grant. Isn't that a famous name? Oh, Jesus.
And you can somehow get proof and readdress the bail at a future court date, or note it to address the bail if there's some mitigating circumstances that he was in fact in the hospital. That seems like a reasonable thing. If he was in the hospital, why he would miss court. So if you have proof of that, but as of now, as you can see, that probably I'm not going to just take the word for it. So Madam Clerk, what is the next court date? Your pretrial is going to be July 25th and jury trial is going to be September 11th.
And Your Honor, my one request would be, I am out of town next week. Okay. I'm out of town the 24th to the 28th. I would just ask that this be the following week, if possible. I've let Mr. Moore know that should the court be inclined to keep him in custody, I likely would not be here next week.
Okay. So you would like to set it over so you can be present. Madam Clerk, is there the 31st? Okay. So July 31st is what we have. So
Thank you,
Mr.
Your Honor.
We'll see you July 31st. If you post bail or don't, the same conditions remain in effect, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What other matters are we ready on? I'd like to do interpreter matters if we have those ready.
Stop it up, please. Spray this. We'll have a seat, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I could take JPay.
Implemental present. We are ready to address both interpreter matters. If we can first address Mr. Version Paredes. We do have Ms. Lucas present with us, so I'll pause so she can introduce herself.
Wonderful.
Good morning. And that's cousin.
Sorry, just watching Spanish interpreter cases makes me, it's just, I'm sad about my lack of Spanish ability. I took it for 4 years. I really don't know it. It's depressing. Yeah, maybe I could take JPay. That's what the prisoners pay for all their stuff with, right? I wonder. I'm not even going to say it. But I will say, I don't know maybe we should start sending. Oh my fucking God. Could you imagine if we sent like volumes of shows, like somebody took the time to get all of my lives onto DVDs and then we sent them to prisons to put in their law libraries?
Plead not guilty today.
Roger. Yes, sir.
Not guilty plea will enter. Any arguments as to probable cause?
I would stipulate for purposes of this.
And it would just be so funny because like probably nobody would watch them, but maybe somebody would. And it would just become this weird, like known thing in the prison. Like, yeah, you can go to the law library and check out the kitchen court case. That would be so funny. Oh gosh. I know, Prissy, but my theory is that if it's a law library and it was sent in the right methods, they might not check it because the guards are not going to review law stuff. But I am not trying to figure out how to circumvent prison rules, obviously.
This hearing, Your Honor.
I've read the report. I'll make a finding of probable cause. Terms of conditions, city.
City is not requesting bail as well as standard DUI condition, or we are requesting standard DUI conditions.
Spence.
Your Honor, there's no objection to those. We did go over what the city was requesting and what those conditions would be. Additionally, he is currently employed at this time. I did indicate the court would give him that financial affidavit to fill out if he is interested in applying for a public defender.
Okay. So, sir, I'm going to release you today and your promise to appear at your future court dates. You're going to get a copy of those court dates in a moment. It's going to be August 10th at 2:30 in person here, and September 11th is going to be your jury trial date. Between now and then, you'd either make efforts to hire an attorney or screen for a public defender. You'd have no new criminal law violations, not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid license and insurance, not to drive or be in physical control of a motor vehicle with a .08 or higher, and not refuse to submit to a blood or breath test if one's requested by law enforcement. You understand all those?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you're not being held on anything else, you should be released later today, and we'll see you back August 10th.
All right. Roger.
Mr. Moore, let's go return to yourself. Mr. Camacho Sanchez, go ahead, have a seat, please.
Next matter to address, Your Honor, is Mr. Camacho Sanchez, cause number 3A0550-714. Again, on for arraignment. Count 1 is an allegation of driving under the influence. Count 2 is an allegation of reckless driving. We did go over the maximum penalties on both of those charges, as well as the potential mandatory minimum penalties on both. Again, we discussed the constitutional rights he has at the stage of the proceeding. He's indicating no additional questions, and so we are prepared to acknowledge receipts of both complaints, waive formal reading, and enter pleas of not guilty as to both counts.
Thank you. Sir, is your name Joshua Camacho Sanchez?
Yes.
March 6, 2003 is your birthday?
Yes.
You've been charged today with 2 counts. Count 1, driving under the influence. Count 2, reckless driving. Both carry with it a maximum penalty of 364 days and a $5,000 fine. The DUI has mandatory minimums depending on what your history is. It's my understanding you want to plead not guilty to both at this time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Not guilty's pleas will enter. Any arguments as to probable cause?
We'll stipulate for purposes of this hearing.
I've read the police report. I'll make a finding in probable cause for both. Terms of conditions, city.
City is not requesting bail. The city is requesting standard DUI conditions as well as the installation of an ignition interlock device.
Okay.
Your no objection to standard conditions. Obviously, as the court can see, Mr. Camacho Sanchez is technically considered a minor for purposes of consumption in the state of Washington, so he does understand that. Additionally, I believe he's going to be signing a declaration of non-driving in lieu of the ignition interlock requirement, as he is not currently validly licensed and does not have a vehicle to drive. I indicated to him he could either pick that up from the court or I believe access that on the court's website in order to sign that declaration.
Okay. Is he going to screen?
Similarly, he is working full time. Excuse me. He wasn't able to give me sort of structured numbers to give to the court in order to make that determination. But I did indicate to him that the court would give him that financial affidavit. He would need to fill that in and return it if he is requesting a public defender.
Okay. All right, sir, if you're not being held on anything else, I'm going to release you today. Your next court date is going to be August 10th at 2:30 in person. Your trial date is going to be September 11th. With the following conditions: not to have any new criminal law violations, don't drive without a valid license and insurance, no consumption of alcohol, you're underage, not to drive or be in physical control of a motor vehicle with a BAC of 0.08 or higher, not to refuse to submit blood or breath as requested by a law enforcement officer. I'm going to require that you install the ignition interlock camera or sign a declaration of non-driving. If you
Be
sign
well,
that,
Mayor.
then I will accept that. Also, between now and the next court date of August, make efforts to either hire an attorney or screen to see if you're eligible for a public defender. If you do hire one or are eligible, please meet with that attorney before your next court date. With that, I've signed an order releasing you.
Thank you.
All right, what matter do we have next?
All right, Mr. Camacho Sanchez, but Mr. Rizzo. Ms. Rothrock, coming up, please. But I will see, please.
Next matter is Ms. Rothrock, cause number 32725. This is an active probation review matter, so it's a disposition. We do have an updated report from Ms. Sprague. Allegations as far as non-compliance are concerned are failing to report to probation, although it looks like that is semi-mitigated, at least in Ms. Sprague's report. Failing to provide proof of the DV victims panel and comply with the mental health evaluation. Number one, Your Honor, it looks like, as Ms. Rothrock indicated to me, she did in fact call probation as required.
Her hair and my hair look the same today. Like literally, I can have that hairstyle in about 3 seconds. There we go. Wow. Actually, that's bang on. Mayor, please take care. We love you. We want you to get better soon. Yeah. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help you. Make sure that they use the right GNOME tools on you. I imagine it was hard to source the GNOME surgical tools, but please make sure they use that. And William, these people will be gone for a while. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. But I did just hang this up because I think it talks about us as a family, which is that we ignore them.
Required. Ms. Sprague was out that day. It looks like she had sent her a text message. Unfortunately, Ms. Rothrock was calling from the Carnegie Center. She specifically went there to make that phone call. And so I don't believe she received the response back. And as far as a text message is concerned, prongs 2 and 3 are admitted. Looks like probation's recommendation is to effectively give her credit for time served and to reset her with an out of custody probation appointment. We would join in that recommendation. Again, she would be going to the Carnegie Center again to schedule that. So if the court could give her at least a couple of days to get that scheduled, if the court is following that recommendation.
City.
Ms. Rothrock was sentenced on June 18th of 2021, and the city is not confident that she'll be able to do the DV victim panel and mental health treatment and evaluation. So in lieu of that, the city is requesting 45 days in jail and then reset back to probation.
So you're not confident that she's going to do it, but you want to keep her on probation?
Correct.
Was the city intending to say in lieu of the conditions the city's requesting 45 days? Or
correct. In lieu of the DV victim panel and the mental health treatment and evaluation, or evaluation treatment.
So just to be clear, because I think the court's confused as well. So if the city, are you recommending 45 days in lieu of the probation requirements, or are you asking for a sanction and then to keep those probation requirements?
In lieu, so there'll be no more DV victim panel or mental health treatment and evaluation.
All right. So anything either side want to say?
I mean, I understand the city's concern. Obviously, I do see the time frame. We have been back here a few times. I certainly think that if Ms. Rothrock can do it, that she would benefit from it. I know that, again, she did try and contact Ms. Sprague after the last appearance. Maybe if the court gives her that appointment as soon as possible, that they can get in contact. I know that certainly Ms. Sprague can help her with some of those resources, which I think she desperately needs at this time. But obviously ultimately up to the court to decide.
All right. So I was looking at this case. I was looking at when she actually entered a guilty plea with what the conditions that were originally set, how many times she's failed to appear, how many times she's been sanctioned. And I have a legit concern, I feel, and maybe someone can address this concern. every time it seems like she's been sanctioned and required to appear and get the mental health evaluation, which is what I'm most concerned with at this point. And she does not get it. She just gets another FTA and another warrant, and then we're back in the same boat where the city's asking that she be sanctioned. She's been sanctioned 5 days, 5 days. City asked on March of this year for 45 days. She got 3 days. Now they're asking again for 45 days. There comes a point where on each case where we either think someone's going to comply with our probation conditions, or we are not convinced, and we'll use those resources for someone else who either is willing or wanting to comply. And oftentimes, if I'm not convinced the person is going to comply, I'll sanction them and terminate probation. So is there any, and this is a defense question, any way that you can alleviate this court's concerns that she'll actually comply if given a new court date?
Unfortunately, I think part of the issue with what happened in this case, sort of, I wouldn't say forced, but Ms. Rothrock has been, you've been having a harder time getting resources. Is that right, Catherine?
Yes, to some extent. I believe that this most recent case of the unusual matter of my probation officer being ill and out of office really sort of confused me, and I would like a chance to try again to make that appointment, as I did most recently from Carnegie Hall.
Ma'am, you understand what my concern is, that every time you've appeared before the court, you've violated a term of your probation, and we give you one more chance, and then one more chance, and then one more chance. You understand that?
I do see it from your perspective. I would ask you to see also an improvement in this last case. I did make my appointment at the appointed time, and my call was not answered. If we could make a similar appointment, I am confident that I can make that phone call at the appointed time, and this time it will be answered.
All right. So do you?
Okay, I have to say that was a very cogent argument. That was better than many lawyers that I've heard. That was, it may not be true, but it was absolutely a cogent argument to make for that at this point. Pretty good. The judge absolutely looks like just a kid.
You want to be on probation? Do you want to get the evaluation?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because it was what was originally asked. It's part of the system that has, done this with many people many times before and found that to be the best solution. I would like to know what my current sort of status mentally, as it appears to the professionals. I wonder what that is. But mostly I do want to comply. I do want to comply.
Wanting to comply because someone ordered you to do it, and wanting to comply because it's something that you feel like would benefit you are two different things. Do you think a mental health evaluation and treatment would benefit you?
Possibly. It depends. I've been in different kinds of mental health treatment environments, and some have been more beneficial than others. It would depend. I can't say for sure if it would help or not, but I have an open mind toward it.
Well, it's hard to know what they're going to ask or require of you if you don't get the evaluation.
I did go to the mental health hospital, Compass, is it Compass Health? Through which we're supposed to get the evaluation, and I was told.
Thanks so much, Crystal. I've missed you guys too. I really appreciated all of your comments while I was gone, and all of your wonderful acceptance while I figure out what I'm doing. This girl is I mean, she's going to bat. She is going to bat on her own. She is not doing the worst I've ever seen. Do you think she can see that she's pink? Because that would be disconcerting to me. I would mention it. I would have to. I'd be like, do we have a thing going on here or what?
Told to call a number and call a number and call another number, because it was during COVID and they weren't seeing anyone in person. So I did actually attempt to make those steps originally, when I did not have a phone. And I believe I was scooped up by police under warrant for failure to appear, sort of in the middle of that process, and got derailed by being in jail for that process.
Let me ask you this question. Let's say I follow your attorney's recommendation, give you credit for whatever you've served on this matter and release you today. If you're not being held anything else, when can you talk to probation?
It's today Monday.
Today's Monday.
Anytime this week. I would say sometime between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. I think those are Carnegie Hall's hours. And it's pretty much in my neighborhood, so that should be fine. Any weekday between those hours, I'd be able to make.
So if I release you today, you can contact tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
And if when you contact probation, they tell you who to meet with about a mental health evaluation, and they say, hey, you can get this done in a week, will you do it?
Assuming it's a matter of me showing up and not having to have a working phone and calling and returning a call, yes, I will. And I can do that, yes.
And just not to interrupt her, what I'm hoping, and I can certainly email her probation officer if the court is going to do this, but I'm hoping that we now that we do have a community court, we have a lot more resources that are available. I think she could benefit from something that involves case management, potentially, like the lead program or Helping Hands, something like that. There's a lot of different agencies that can get her a phone, things like that. So I think if we can connect her to some of those resources, then hopefully we can help her be able to comply a little bit easier as things go on. Their wait times for mental health are pretty high right now, unfortunately with COVID, but at least you could get the ball rolling on getting that started.
All right. So let me ask the Madam Clerk, if you can put it in the meeting chat. If I released her today and wanted a review hearing to see if she actually met with probation this week, like I'm going to order, and set the review hearing out 2 weeks, what do we have that we could set this out 2 weeks out of custody?
God is sneaking up
Or
behind
approximately 2
Courtney.
weeks. Okay. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that you violated the terms of probation and sentence in this matter. I'm going to revoke. How many days have you served?
3.
I'm going to revoke 3 days, give you credit for the 3 days served. You must report to probation or call them by tomorrow at 11. So exactly 24 hours from today, no later than. We're going to set a review hearing for August 2nd. During that review hearing, we're going to see if you've contacted probation and where you are on your mental health evaluation, if there's some resources that are available. I can almost assure you that if you don't show up on the 2nd, or you've not met with probation, at the next time you meet with a judge for these matters, probation will almost certainly be terminated and you'll be serving a considerable amount of time of custody, because comes a point where it's your decision whether or not you are going to comply with probation conditions. We have done everything we can, and it's up to a point, and there's some additional resources now. So hopefully that will help you, but I'm going to release you today. Make sure you contact them by tomorrow at 11, come back to court August 2nd at 2:30. We'll give you the paperwork. You understand?
Yes.
All right. We'll see you August 2nd. I will sign that paperwork now.
All right, Mr. Rothrock. Return to yourself, please. Ms. Beatty, coming up, have a seat, please.
This is a drawing that my daughter did many years ago. First of all, I love giant post-it notes. I think they're great. And that's like braided hair, I think is what it's meant to be. It's fucking super creepy. It's a woman. It's meant to be a woman standing, looking forward, and it says, "Don't turn around." My daughter's fucking just absolutely savage with all of her like creative stuff when she was younger and even now. She once wrote this story, which I still have, I have to find it as well, about a panda who had a best friend that all the food went away from the panda. And of course, at the end, like the story, you know how most kids' stories are happy. In the end, the panda died and the other one threw itself off a cliff. And I had to like answer at the school about that. And I was like, I thought it was great. And they were like, it's a little disturbing. I was like, oh, maybe, I guess. And she was 7. And they were like, I asked her about it. She was like, well, I didn't want it to be like everybody else's. I was like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't like everybody else's at all. It's yours. And I'm so proud of you for doing it, my dear. I loved it. I'm gonna find that book because that one is seriously a quality piece. And we had it fully, like they had it printed out too.
Hi, how are you?
Right. One moment to fill this out. All right, who do we have here?
The last matter to address that was physically transported this morning is Heather Beatty, cause number 3A0025680. On for arraignment. These are allegations. Count 1, theft in the 3rd degree. Count 2, making a false statement to a public servant. These are from February 4th of 2023. We went over the maximum penalties for the charges. We also discussed the constitutional right she has at this stage of the proceeding. She's indicating no additional questions. So again, we are prepared to acknowledge receipt of the complaints.
We don't have a chief of police.
He's not guilty as to both counts.
We'll get it back to that.
And ma'am, is your name Heather? Is it Beatty?
Yes, sir.
All right. October 6th, 1979 is your birthday?
Yes, sir.
You've been charged with 2 counts today. Count 1 is theft in the 3rd degree. Count 2 is making a false statement to a public servant. If convicted, each carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days and a $5,000 fine. It's my understanding you want to plead not guilty at this time?
Yes.
All right, not guilty plea will enter. Terms, well, is there any arguments as to probable cause?
No, Your Honor, we would stipulate for purposes of this hearing.
All right, I've read the police report. I'll make a finding of probable cause for these both counts. In terms of conditions, what is the city's position?
The city is requesting bail in the amount of $2,000. Ms. Beatty has 24 lifetime failure to appears and 4 outstanding warrants. The city also requests that she does not return to Fred Meyer.
Defense?
Your Honor, there's no objection to standard conditions, obviously, including no contact with Fred Meyer. It looks like per her ADR that her address was updated with Department of Licensing very shortly after the notice was issued in this case. Obviously, then she missed the arraignment and was picked up on the warrant. I think it was maybe updated a week to
Anywhere else?
after.
Anywhere else?
She indicates, I did confirm with her that address, which is listed in Bothell, is a good mailing address now. So she is asking the court to allow her an opportunity to appear out of custody. Certainly no objection to quashing the outstanding Marysville warrants as a condition of her release. And then also she would like to be considered for a court-appointed counsel. It sounds like she's working part-time, but again, based on that, I think she would still qualify for counsel.
All right, so let me ask this. What is her ability to pay? I'm quite frankly concerned that without some assurances, including that the history of failing to appear, including the outstanding warrants. So I'm maybe amenable to setting bail at a amount that she might be able to afford. I don't know what that is without any information from defense.
You're understanding what the judge was saying. When I asked you before, you indicated you don't believe you'd be able to post any bail.
I can't, but I did do the paperwork to put myself on calendar for my Marysville warrants to get those taken care of. So I'm not just avoiding everything. I did that prior to getting arrested here. I just started work. I haven't even got my first paycheck. I'm supposed to be to work at 2 today. I'm doing really good. I just asked for this one break if I could, sir. I promise you, I live right around the corner. I'll stay on track of everything.
Working where?
I work at Everyday Natural Products, and it's in Snohomish. It's a CBD and antique store.
CBD and antiques?
I give you my word, sir. I will stay on track of this.
If I take you at your word, which is what I assume you probably told judges before that you'll appear, what do you think is going to happen next time?
I'm gonna be here. I'll be at court. I live right around the corner. I promise you, I will take care of these things. I'm doing everything the way I should be doing.
If you don't appear, what do you think is going to happen?
You guys are gonna come get me and I'll be right back in the same position and sit me a $5,000 bail. I'm asking this one chance, sir. I promise you.
All right, so I'm going to release you today. Have no new criminal violations. Don't contact Fred Myers. You must appear at your next court date in person. Screen for an attorney between now and then. Meet with your attorney. If you qualify, if not, hire one. If you don't show up, warrant will be issued for your arrest. I'm going to make a note where you gave me your assurances to my face. You fail to appear. You will highly likely never be released until this case is resolved. You will sit in custody until the pendency of this case. You understand that?
I understand that, sir.
All right. Your next court date is going to be August 3rd at 2:30 in person. Your jury trial date is going to be September 11th.
Thank you, sir.
And I think we just have one more matter remaining.
Yes, Your Honor, not transported was Mr. Rains, cause number 3A02638. Looks like this will be on for arraignment. They simply just not transport him. They didn't have enough mail cells this morning.
Police position.
He's requesting to maintain the $3,000 bail.
Carry it one day.
And Your Honor, I asked the court to release him. I don't see a failure to appear since almost a decade. It looks like 2016. It looks like he had one. Aside from that, it's a very limited failure to appear history.
Yeah, so the city can comment on that. So he only had 6 lifetime failure to appears, but he did have pretty significant criminal history in 7 other states with convictions in Indiana and Texas.
And again, without more information, I don't know what that really means, Your Honor.
Any indication if he's got a local address?
I have never met Mr. Rains. This is an arraignment. So aside from what's listed on his ADR, what the court has in their system, I don't have any additional addresses for him.
All right. So what I'm going to do is just carry this one day, maintain bail. I am concerned about the out-of-state convictions. And if he has a local address, we can address that tomorrow. And I think that concludes the calendar. Is there anything that needs to be addressed that has not yet been addressed?
Not from defense, Your Honor.
Look at this one. Hold on. We're not doing that. My daughter did this art as well, which is so lovely. Y'all, I am very distracted in here, and I'm distracted. Because yeah, it's my house. So, but yes, my daughter did this one too. She's such a great little artist. This is like 5 years ago when she was like 10 years old. She was opening an art store. Actually, I got her to open an Etsy store because she was making all these little mini like pictures and portraits, and like this one too, which I really like. So she does art all the time still, and she really enjoys it, but she didn't sell any, so she's not got any selling. But yeah, and then like all over here is all these portraits that she's done of her. I like this one the best too. This one's my favorite. I don't know which way it goes, but yeah. I love her art. And then, oh, actually, one last one I'll show you. Again, like 6 years ago, she did this. So when she was like 10 or 9 years old. She was into anime for a little while. And then she's a photographer too. She really likes photography. Oh, fine, last. I love her art. I'm very proud of it, as usual, as I should be. So most of her art is her nice pumpkin that she did. Hi, Lucy. Actually, you know what else? I have a song that she sang when she was like 6 years old that was so cute, and she wrote it, and it was like goblins and ghouls and witches. It was so cute. I'll look it out. I'll try and find it. We have a lot of fun things that are coming up, you guys. Like I am not fucking I'm not an artist at all, so I'm always amazed at her art. I can't do any art. So the closest I have is my one picture that I have framed on the wall that I took in Turkey. Or Greece. No, I think it was Greece. I took this in Greece. But that's about it. So, um, oh, and my daughter, yeah, I'm like looking down the wall. The whole rest of this wall is like art and stuff like that as well. But, yeah, this was cool because it was like I was up in the Acropolis or something like that looking out. Yes, I've traveled lots and lots of places. Italy, Turkey, Greece, Europe, the Med. Been very lucky like that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, fun ideas. So there are some fun ideas. Oh, my boobs. No, my boobs they're pretty stacked in there, William. It's not too bad. But we have some fun ideas. I don't really well, I've been approached to get my Tinder profile going so we can do some swiping together and see what to find on Tinder, which would be funny. A couple other different ideas for things to do. You guys know I really like court and watching it, but I do like to have fun mostly with you guys. That's really the truth of it all. So I would really appreciate it if you would like this video today. I think that helps YouTube Daddy. Him and I, we're at odds every once in a while. I know I promised a game, but the problem is, Prissy, that I realize the game doesn't work on. I have to figure out how to translate this into a computer game because it's a fun word game. It's called Anomia, where common knowledge becomes uncommonly fun, and it's super fun. It's a Mensa select game. Let's do a recipe swap for sure, Lucy. But yeah. William, that's good to hear. My boobs, while they might always look like they're gonna pop out, they're not. They're not that big. They're actually not gonna pop out. I watch a YouTube channel called Our Daily View. The lady has an autistic son and they do fun activities all the time. I just find it very soothing. They're very nice parents and just very, very nice. And she's making a Snicker apple salad. Snicker apple salad. I don't know what that is, but I need to figure it out. She also was talking about how she likes pea salad, but nobody else likes pea salad. We don't have pea salad here, so. But is apple salad a thing as well? Because I don't think we don't really have apple salad either. Oh, last thing. Because some of y'all must be into guns. I mean, pew-pews or whatever. That's not what this is, first of all. But I really like this case. It's like a surveyor's case. You can see like leather. And it's going to taste like this. Right? And it comes off like this, and you like wear it around you. But inside of it, I don't know why I have this, but it's like some Henstolt Wetzler like scope. It's a scope. No, Mikey, it's worth more money than that. It is worth way more money than that. I don't get it, but I just found it again. Yeah, I looked this one up because I like this best, and it is a surveyor's case, which I think is really cool. Because the lid doesn't go away. Jonathan, getting closer. I don't know. I have to actually do some research on it because somebody told me that it was like worth money. Use it to look at your neighbors? I don't know. I don't need to use it to look at my neighbors. How hot is it where I'm at right now? Let's see. You know what I did for you guys? I changed my phone into Fahrenheit so that I could try and get into the mindset of an American. So it's 75 degrees, but I don't know what that is to me. I'm gonna have to change it back to Celsius to get that information. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, it's 68 now. 68. Which is 20 degrees. Okay, so it was above 20. Huh. That's hot. Are you kidding? That's hot, Courtney. 20 degrees that's like winter, that's like summer. Put on a jacket? No. That's like summer. So, yeah. Nighttime, it says it gets to 12 degrees Celsius, which is 53 degrees Celsius. 53 degrees Celsius at night and 68 degrees. And then our 10-day forecast, our highest in the next 10 days will be 73. 73. And of course, we always have the ocean breeze, so it's never hot here. I might actually die in Florida. I might actually die. No, I won't. I'll be fine. I think. Listen, guys, I really hope you enjoyed tonight's show. It was not as long as a 9-hour show, not as short as a no show, but in the middle. 35.5 fucking degrees is exceedingly hot. That's hotter than. Well, Crystal, the truth of that story is that I never lived in that kitchen. She didn't kick me out, technically. This has been my suite in the house. The house has 4 suites. This is my suite in this house. I pay for this suite, and this is where I live. Since COVID started, Nana has been on the main floor. My daughter's bedroom is on the main floor as well. And I moved up there, and I was doing all the cooking and everything for everybody together up there. And they are, I don't really know what they're doing with the house. Something for themselves, I would imagine. But, we take it one day at a time here. I especially take it one day at a time. So, while I could worry about it, I'm not going to. I am going to press forward and we'll see. It was just very much easier up there. The lighting is a lot better. The kitchen's a lot nicer, but, and it was easier. Honestly, I actually really enjoy spending time with my daughter, like being there when she came home after school and making dinner and doing all that. I really, 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 that was the key factor for why I was upstairs so much, actually, and why I don't like being down here. We all have separate entrances, and so it's a extra thing. And this suite is just a little too small for the two of us. So we will we'll be on the lookout for something new and we'll figure it out. Oh, thank you, Prissy. I appreciate that. This suite has a total of 2 windows. 2 total. So I'm glad that I got some light from them. Yes. We're all in the house is 4 suite. Yeah, it's the same. This is the same house. The house has 4 suites. So, like, this suite has always been here. I've just been upstairs for the most part. Um, and then they are thinking about selling the house entirely. And that that's part of why I'm having to get this place organized a little bit in a different way. So we will see, we will see, we will see. It's unfortunate. This house is 1 block away. I can literally look out the one window over here and see the high school that I went to and that my daughter goes to now. And in the beginning, the goal was absolutely to have her finish high school at that school and at this house because it's just so handy. But that's actually just not my decision. So I don't dwell on things that I can't control very much. But I do use them to affect how I lead my life going forward. So I would never personally do that, but that's not my call. It is a very intense housing market around here, unfortunately. It will be something I need to think about, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve. You guys know me. I always land on my feet, and I am a hustler, and I work hard. So I'm not worried. I am just going to be going through some transitional periods, if you will call it. Honestly, this all happened the day after the demonetization happened. It was not ideal. I was like, really? Are you kidding me right now? You gotta do that. But like I said, we persevere. Do you, Courtney? I'm coming. I mean that. God, seriously. I I appreciate that. Cellulite yoga pants. I need you guys. I know it sounds sort of rude maybe, but um when I was offline, that it was really hard for me to deal with. The demonetization was one thing, but dealing with all the other stuff without being able to chat with you guys. Well, Courtney, in a few months, that's when I need it. But yeah, being able to chat with you guys is really important. Oh, look. Oh my God, I love this one too. She's a really good artist. I gotta get her back into doing her art again. We're okay. Yeah, Nana's fine. Nana owns the house. So her and my mother will be just fine. There'll be no problem there. Um, yeah, they will be just fine. Beautiful work. Glad I have all these early pieces of hers because I'm sure she's going to be very famous one day, and I am glad that I have them. Okay, guys, I love you very much. I hope you will have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, I'm proud of you. and keep coming at me with the ideas for where to live. I will gladly take all the ideas and suggestions I can get. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Love you guys too. Bye. Honestly, it was Larry Beaver that got me kicked out. Nana found him with wood in the bathroom and just kidding. Bye, guys.